All right, we're live. 695. Only 4 more chapters to go. We start off with an awesome color page. This was kind of shocking, but nice. So everybody like the color page, right?
Yeah, it was
Right.
really, it was a lot of some of the color pages, the colors are kind of dark, and the colors in this page were just like nice and vibrant and bright.
Oh, and there is a couple of sites that actually colorize the chapters. So usually by the
Right.
time 695 would come out, 694 they've already colored it, and it actually makes a big difference. All right, now we're on
Oh,
the
yeah.
next page. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything. I was just agreeing with what
So
you
we
said.
got so we got. I heard something I didn't notice before. At the very bottom of the page, when Naruto does pushes back, it actually looks like a hand pushing back. I didn't notice that the first time.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
think he's blocking the fireball. It looks like a Kyuubi hand, like but just
Yeah,
the hand.
he gave Sasuke the hand there. Yeah, that worked out pretty good. So there's a lot of action in the beginning. Okay, and of course Sasuke gets behind him. He knows this is going to happen.
Does he use his teleportation jutsu? Or his
Yeah,
eye jutsu? Because I thought he had to. I'm trying to figure out what he. I thought he had to swap places with an
yes,
object.
yeah.
I was trying to figure out what he swapped places with because it doesn't
I,
show that.
I can't remember if it was King of Lightning or Sawyer Seven Mage. Both said that they were really, or maybe both said it. They just wanted to know what it was he swapped with, right?
Yeah,
Was it a bijou ball? Was it was it what was it?
Well,
Was it
how far
Dawn
away
Ball?
from Naruto was he when he threw that fireball?
hmm.
See, I
So he
think I
changed
think
places with the
Sasuke
fireball.
has I think Sasuke has cleared that distance before. You remember
Yeah,
the post time skip where Sasuke was about to kill Naruto and he jumped across the ledge? Remember that?
yeah, that's right. I remember that.
I think that's a comparable distance.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
distance-wise, I don't think there's a problem. It was just what object did he.
Yeah, but
But you're saying that he
I think
didn't
that
have
was
to
his
do it.
speed. I think that was
Yeah,
his speed, not eye technique.
right. As opposed to. So I'm
Yeah.
flying back. We got Sasuke and Susanoo. It's pretty cool. And then we got the bottom. We got the whole thing. Susanoo clashing with Tailed Fox.
that was a
A lot
really
of
cool.
action. Yeah, good.
Has anybody noticed that Naruto has three Biju balls behind him instead of six?
Yeah, I did notice that because I counted them. I counted the BG balls whenever not Sasuke teleported behind Naruto, and I noticed I was like, wow, that's different.
So they're somewhere else. He's probably got him sneaked off somewhere.
Yeah,
And then we got the fist bump. And when I saw the Fox and the Susanoo fist bump, I remembered the whole thing. It was when warriors of equal strength or high-level warriors of equal strength, fight each other. They could see each other's thoughts,
Right.
understand each other, right? And I said, okay. I saw this and I said, okay, that's where we're going. So I said, okay, I can see it. And then at the bottom, they show the faces, and then we start seeing the flashbacks, right?
I
And
think
yeah,
part of the first page of flashback where it's Naruto on the swing and Sasuke's in the dirty house. All the flashbacks worked pretty well, except for the one that we've seen a million times when Naruto's walking and sees Sasuke on the dock. I think that one was just reused way too much. We could have done
right,
without that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. Well, and I think there was too much flashback. I mean, reminding us of stuff that it's one thing to remind us of stuff that happened a long time ago, but to remind us of stuff that we've been reminded of many times.
Yeah, especially when
Now,
we only have 4 weeks to go.
yeah. So that wasn't the greatest. And well, there was a couple of things in here. There's something I just went by was Lumpy Rocks. His comments was like the comment if you don't know what it's like to lose somebody, and then in the page before it showed Jiraiya and everything. So Naruto does know what it's like to lose somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he does understand that. And let's see, there was something else. It's here. And the flashbacks. A lot of people didn't like the flashbacks. I guess there was too many. The action was good, but then we got, kind of like you said, we got. How necessary were the flashbacks here? Do you guys think was there too many? Did we need them at all?
I was gonna say that that flashback with Naruto walking and they saw Sasuke in the pier, we seen that so many times, but when you look at the next page, when both of them smiling, that's the first time I'm seeing that. Because they always show that, and they only show like little pieces and pieces and pieces, and then they show like the ending part. Like we never saw them like smiling when they
Right.
walked.
So you're saying he added some?
Yeah, he added to that type of flashback at the end on the next page.
Well, and this is okay. Well, I don't want to get too. I don't want to get too far ahead. Let me get back to. So okay, actually that's where we're at. Let me skip by. So we got the Jiraiya. The action. Now the action in the anime is going to look pretty good. Okay. I think it's going to look very good. And it looks like they're destroying the statues, huh?
I said I can't wait for this to be animated. It's just going to be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of action. It's going to look good.
Has anybody noticed that, okay, when the first time they fought on the Valley of the End, there was below the statues, but now that
They're above them. Yeah.
they're above them, does that symbolize, like, of power? Like, when they first fought, they were beneath, like, Hashirama and Madara, but now that they all powerful, they're above them now.
Well, whether it was intentional or not, I like it. I like the idea because it's true. That's where they're at. They're now above the, those two guys. So yeah, it's very good. It's and then this is where I started going. Okay, so we had the action in the beginning, which is great. I think everybody likes that. And then we had the flashbacks. Now we started losing people with the flashbacks, right? Go ahead.
Huh? No, I just said yeah.
Okay, and then we get to this part. Okay, Sasuke, what's wrong? Are you just gonna stay on the defensive? And I'm like, oh boy, this is not. I'm gonna kill you, Naruto guy. This is not. You know what I mean? If you can't take the initiative, you eventually die. And I'm like, why? You were gonna kill him anyway.
Yeah.
What is this? What's going on, Killer Sasuke? You know?
And Naruto has... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I noticed in the bottom of that panel, after Naruto says, you're going along with the whole lone wolf act again, and I like Sasuke's reaction to that. It's just ... Like he knows what he's talking about when he says the lone wolf act,
Right. Yeah, because he can't counter that. We both know what it's all like. So knowing that you're planning on going back to that, and then they fight again. Okay. But you can already see, I mean, Sasuke is getting wore out by this guy.
Yeah.
And so this is just getting ridiculous. And then the big explosion, right? And then now they're both back in this place, which we knew they were going to be, which had been there before, where they can, understand each other. You don't need to shout it out loud, Sasuke. We're no longer the same people we were when we fought a long time ago. Your thoughts, your feelings, and Naruto, I know them all, and now mine as well. Don't you, Naruto? Oh, don't you? It's almost like Naruto, my friend, at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so I believe that is the end of the chapter. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? That has to be the fastest we've covered a chapter. Even pushing, I didn't even push hard, and we're done. It's mainly action, right? Okay, we're at the end. Now, I'm going to go around here. Let's go around this way. Thomas, what in this chapter do you want to talk about? Do you have questions on? Do you have statements? What?
My favorite parts in the manga was the fist bump with the Kurama and his Susanoo, and Susanoo doing the giant Chidori was pretty sweet. And I'm hoping after this, like after they get out of the white world, I hope they bring it back to basics a little bit and just kind of go like hardcore fighting, like how, for example, in the first fight, Sasuke wraps his legs around Naruto's neck and does like a tombstone into the ground off the cliff. That's a pretty brutal, hand-to-hand combat type of thing. Because this chapter they went all out with the big Bijou bombs and the Susanos and all that. I hope they tone it down a little bit. Just go on a hardcore fight.
And what's funny about that is where Sasuke learned that move? All the way from the Chunin exam from Rock Lee.
Was it? Yeah, Rock Lee, the Flying Lotus.
Yeah, I think
That's
that was
right.
pretty cool that they went back to their own basics.
Oh yeah.
So once again, once we get near the action, people seem to be very happy. Right? No real complaints. The action's there, right? It's just the flashbacks, and also, Well, anyway, before I get to this thing, Michael Gethman, is there anything in this chapter you want to?
Well, I can think of one thing to improve it, and that's to take the talking out of it. We can do without that.
More action.
More action, yeah. I like the explosion, and I guess the fist bump was good too, but there was very little in this chapter that I thought was awesome.
It was. Well, let's see. Kix Mixer said it's a very simple chapter. Effective, but it was simple.
Right.
Okay, now let's go ahead. If you guys don't mind, we can always go back and do whatever. But 4 chapters left, and that's something all of us have to. And a few people put it in their comments. Yeah, we only have 4 chapters left. Give us more material. Semi crawl. The only thing that bothered me was using the flashbacks. We only have 4 chapters left. So, yeah. So in 4 chapters, like I said, what have I said? I think I've said this for about 2 years now. That this, or at least a year and a half, if not 2 years. That things are not. I think we just realized things are not all going to be wrapped up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All the mysteries, like in the show Lost, are not going to be explained. So I still think that he can close it out if Kishimoto, and hopefully he does, he focuses on a good ending, because if he gets a good ending, it doesn't have to be great. But if it's good, we get the resolution of this battle and in these, the war and all this, then I think we can be okay. But 4 chapters. Who was shocked? Who still isn't shocked because we've only got 4 chapters left?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of being in shock. I think it's I'm confused because I didn't think it was going to end that fast or can end that fast properly.
Right. So I mean, because a lot of us were thinking it's months or whatever, right?
Yeah, at least 2 months,
I was at least thought it was going to end like maybe mid-November, early December.
Right.
And as Sean was saying before we started, he's like, "Well, how long was the pain fight?" It was a long battle. It was a very good one, but I mean, this big battle, like you were saying before we started, Sean, is not going to be the most hyped fight in the entire manga, right?
Yeah, it's like everybody thinks that it would be the most anticipated fight, but it's like kind of fell short. Well, in people's eyes, or what it's going to be, it's looked like it's going to fall short.
Yeah, it almost kind of has to with only 4 chapters left. I mean, there's not, because there still needs to be. Oh, well, that's another question. Let me go around here. How many more chapters? Okay, we got 4 chapters left. Is the fight going to go all 4 chapters? I mean, there needs to be at least a chapter for kind of resolution at the end, or yeah.
I'm hoping for about 2 more chapters, and
I,
then
I oh, my fault.
no, you good, and then wrap up the rest of it with the other 2 chapters.
So okay, so 2 and 2. What do you think, Sean?
Well, before I answer that, I have another question. Every chapter is like what, 18 to 20 pages? Does it has to be that specific number? What if like the last two could be like 25 or 30?
What was it? Well, the chapters normally are what, 10 to 12, something like that. Chapters. I've heard that they can fluctuate. They don't have to be specific numbers. So, which makes sense. It gives creators. So because we've had this discussion. I don't mean me and you. Or maybe I don't know. But I've had this discussion on the length of chapters because we were trying to figure out, if the chapters if there has to be 10 chapters or 15 or whatever. But there doesn't. Evidently, there's no hard and fast rule of how many chapters go in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like what you pointed out, Sean, about maybe the last 2 chapters being like 20 or 30, 25 to 30 pages. That would be really sweet. I would really like that.
Yeah, that could be like his twist. Instead of like limiting it, he can make it. He can extend pages.
Why limit it to 30? Why don't we go to 50?
Right? Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, almost. Actually, it does kind of make sense for there to be longer chapters. Okay, I misunderstood what you were saying. Yeah, more pages per chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
Because look at Attack on Titan. It's like 45 pages long.
Yeah, and this is the most anticipated fight of the series.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we're going to be disappointed if we don't start getting more pages. Because in reality, we should have started. But the only thing is, we should have saw this chapter, shouldn't we? We should have saw a lot more pages, right?
Yeah.
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 We're used to being disappointed with Naruto.
You know what I believe? Like, okay, this chapter is 20, and then like the next chapter be like 25, and then the next chapter be like 35, and then the last page be like 40, 45.
Well, and I want to. Okay, and I want to make. Yeah, and I want to keep. I'm going to remind everybody. That's what I'm going to try to do. Is we're gonna the last like $6.99. We're gonna have a hangout like we always do, right? But what I want to do is I want to have on Saturday have like beyond what we do and talk about on that $6.99. I want on Saturday to have one last Naruto hangout. Right.
You're gonna have it for 8 hours?
I hope not. No, I don't think we're gonna go 8 hours, but it'll be one. Who knows? But
be a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah, it could be. But right, I mean, it could be. So I mean, I just want to warn everybody. That's what I want to have, and I don't know if anybody wants that, but the idea for one last hangout,
it'd be kind of like a last hurrah. Just talk anything and everything Naruto.
Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do, because I know that there'll be some people that can't make Friday, but maybe they'll make Saturday. You know what I mean? Just one last opportunity for everybody to get on board and to process it, to process what happened even more.
Because it's gonna be weird not having Naruto or Naruto hangouts to do. Been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of weird not to do it.
Yeah. Yep, that is correct. I mean, I started covering this, and I'll probably say this several times before the series ends. I started doing reviews at chapter 552 on the 24th of August, 2011. So I've been doing these reviews since 2011. Now, the series has been going on since '99, right? So I mean, it's been going on a lot longer. I didn't start covering in the beginning, but still, and wow. It's pretty amazing.
Yep.
Pretty much about every week from here to there. It's yeah.
Yeah, the hangouts have definitely been a fun ride, to say the least.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thomas, just a quick question. Did you join this because of seeing the hangouts, or you were already a subscriber before the hangouts started?
I was a subscriber before the Hangouts, but then I started saw y'all do the first couple of Naruto Hangouts, and I was like, man, that looks really fun. I'm gonna leave a comment and figure out how to get onto it. And I started doing that ever since.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to have a question on that. Yeah. So, but anyway, okay. So there's a lot of action, and we may actually be about almost done with this Hangout. I think we might have. Michael Gathman, is there anything else in this?
Well, I think Kishimoto could get us all at the end on the 699th chapter and do the final attack that they're going to do and have them kill each other, and then have follow that by a white page and then the Black Zetsu coming out and explaining how the manga ends.
The return of Black Zetsu.
Right, because he's the one that wasn't he the excuse for why all these plot holes got fixed because of Black Zetsu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he could fix the last plot hole of how Kishi ruined the Naruto.
How is who is Black Zetsu, right? I mean that's one of the mysteries so far. So I don't know if he's gonna. Like I said, I don't know if he's gonna be able to wrap it up. So it is, but we are. I want to tell you, I'm glad it's ending. Okay. It's a great ride, but there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and ready for the end.
Well, if Kishimoto's writing had been awesome until now, I mean, you can't wait for the next page. We might be sad, but since he hasn't been a stellar writer, we're ready for it to end.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I mean, Hunter x Hunter came back and just squished it.
Yeah, and that's writing, like I say, that's different. But Naruto, it's too good to drop, but there's too many problems not to talk about it. There are a lot of problems,
right.
A lot of issues.
I'm hoping the movie wraps up maybe wraps up some of the loose ends that may happen at the end of the series. Maybe that's his scapegoat with the movie.
I'm hopeful. I am. Since, like I say, when they gave, I may be grasping at straws, but when they had that filler that was canon,
yeah.
I said, well, maybe the last, maybe a movie can be, canon too. I mean, instead of just some weird, goofy thing. That is something in anime generally that I'm really not. It's so often, especially in these big series, even in Hunter x Hunter, the movies themselves are just like these side things, just purely for fan service, right?
Right, for the fandoms.
Yeah, if I was a kid, that'd probably be great, but as an adult wanting canon, really, I mean, I'm like, why are you wasting my time?
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you? Because all this awesome stuff in here. Why don't you just expand on some of the stuff that's actually happening in this world instead of just saying, hey, here's your favorite characters running and jumping around, and blowing stuff up. So, but that's what happens.
Like I hated the whole like little Rock Lee movie where it was like Rock Lee and his adventure pals or something like that, and
I never watched that.
Necessary.
Yeah.
And the Mecha Naruto wasn't all that. The Mecha Naruto filler wasn't all that appealing to me either.
Oh, do you guys remember the filler where there was a it was either a movie or it was like 2 episodes where Naruto took a different form or he had to fight a different form of the QB? You remember that? It was a different color. It was
wow.
Red instead of yellow or something.
I don't know if I ever saw that. That sounds interesting.
But it was awful.
It was awful.
Yeah. I thought it was really stupid, but for Neverworld liked it, and I didn't understand why.
Wait, that was a filler?
I think so. Do you remember what it was?
Ain't that the one he was fighting his like evil self?
I don't remember.
Wait,
I haven't read that well.
Is that the movie in the alternate reality where?
No, I never watched that one.
He was fighting Minma or something like that. It was his name.
Actually, that was I'm sitting there talking about it. That one was to show what would have been like. That was okay.
Yeah, it was
I thought
okay.
the movie was okay. That was all right. It had some interesting parts in it. It was. Let me just say, it was successful. I've sit here and run down the fan service, and now I'm going to flip over and say I enjoyed the fan service. So here we are. It was good. I thought it was good fan service. So there it is. Top quality anything is still good.
And
So,
I did like the movie where they went back in time and Naruto meets his father and the other adult shinobis. They were on a secret Anbu mission.
Yeah, I like that
really
one
liked
too.
that one.
Yeah.
And they kind of did like a father-son Rasengan at the end, and it was all crazy looking.
Yep.
all right. So we're probably going to do about 8 more minutes of video here. Now, do we want to talk about Naruto? Do you want to talk about some other stuff or some other manga? Or
I have one thing I want to point out. All right, remember in this chapter they have the fist bump with the Nine Tails and the Susanoo?
Yeah.
Okay. What if at the end Sasuke and Naruto end up dying, and that display of the fist bump is like their new statue, because there's no bridge, and the fist bump is act like a bridge.
Oh, it'd be like the replacement statues?
Yeah.
Fist bump. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then their fist bump represents the bridge that binds them both.
Very nice. Well put. Said here first in this hangout by Sean. Outstanding.
Call it the Naruto Sasuke bridge.
It's that's what you wore. Yeah, that's what happens when you wear somebody out. You get a bridge. Sasuke gets. I mean, you could just see him. He's just like ready to go.
Yeah, because he's trying to talk no jutsu to the person that's mastered that already. So there's no point. He's like, all right, I can't do this anymore.
He knows he's not gonna stop. He literally would have to kill him, and he's just gonna keep running.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can stop talk no jutsu.
Yeah. Sasuke.
But I feel like in this chapter, it almost looks like Sasuke's kind of giving in to Naruto's talk no jutsu a little bit.
He's finally making cracks into it.
Right.
Yeah. Now
I'm waiting for Sasuke to say, "Oh, shut up, Naruto."
Yeah.
So it looks like now either he's collapsing and giving into it, or he's ready to. He has some regret, but he realizes, hey, I got to kill this guy to make things the way they got to be. So he's getting ready to pull his move. So
Right.
I don't know. So this is going to be pretty interesting.
Well, I hope that Naruto just like really, really kicks butt, and shows Sasuke that he can't kill him even if he wanted to.
Like you say, there's only 3 out of his 6 balls. So where's the other 3? So there's and we really haven't seen. And for me, I don't even feel like we're in the middle of this fight yet.
Yeah.
Just there's got to be a lot more to come out.
I feel like this could be maybe like the halfway mark, because how in the first fight, them going into the white world after doing their big clash was the ending, and now maybe this is like a sign that they're really going to start jumping into the the real grit of the fight now.
Yeah.
Has it been proven that Naruto is strong enough to fight Sasuke's Genjutsu?
Because he's got Kurama to break him out of the Genjutsu.
Okay.
Because you have to have a second party to break you out.
Yeah,
Right.
someone else's chakra, foreign chakra.
That'd be about the only way that Sasuke could win that fight.
Yeah, remember Sasuke was fighting Killer Bee, and then he put him in a Genjutsu, and then the 8 Tails broke him out?
Yep.
It looked like it'd be the same way with Naruto.
Yeah, because Kurama will just snap him out right after he gets put under Genjutsu, so it would only give Sasuke like a little window of time to where Naruto was out of it for like a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds or something.
What would be really awesome is if Sasuke somehow found a way to put the Amaterasu in with his Susanoo so that he was a walking black flame.
That would be sweet.
And that way, Naruto couldn't touch him without burning to death.
It'd be like the ultimate defense because it wouldn't burn the Susanoo. So
Right.
that's a good twist.
I mean, what other way could the fight end? That's what I'm trying to think of.
What is hope is creative. That's my only thing.
Well, see, the plot hole might be that, well, why didn't you use those moves against Obito, or why didn't you use those moves against Kaguya? We should already know what moves they're going to use.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
that's been the question for a lot of it. Like a lot of their moves. Like I'm sitting here, like the same question I asked is why didn't you use that against Kaguya, like,
Right.
or Madara? In fact,
Yeah, I'm seeing Sasuke mixing his Amaterasu with his Chidori.
Well, that could work. Yeah.
Well, these are all things that would be would be awesome to see. Which we would, like I say, the most anticipated fight. It's still, wow. I mean, we would figure we'd definitely need, I don't know, 12 chapters to do it proper. Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. And we're well below minimum here with this fight. So.
Right. I wonder why Sasuke hasn't used Amaterasu during the Kaguya fight, or he used it during Obito, but he didn't use it against Madara, right?
No.
I wonder why he didn't use it.
I don't know.
I thought he did use it once against Madara, and Madara just like shook it off because I thought he used like tree wood, like Hashirama's like cells to like push it off.
Of course, he may. Well, I mean, if we still have 2 chapters of fighting, we could still all see some variation of what we're talking about. So
Right. That'd be cool.
there is hope, but nobody's complained about the action so far. I mean, they want more of it, but pretty
We
happy.
want less thought bubbles.
Yes, less thought bubbles. More action.
I have a question. What half of the QB Naruto has now? He has his father's or the one that he had the whole time?
I don't remember if it's the yin or the yang. I don't remember. I think he had the physical or the spiritual part of it, but I'm not really sure. It's either the one that's mainly physical or spiritual, and I don't remember now.
I don't really think they actually specified that which one got sealed up in the Chibaku Tensei or not.
Because I was thinking it was his father's half. Because remember, there was a time when I think Madara was sucking up all the Jubies, and then Kurama was making a plan.
Yeah.
That was the one that it came out of him, and Naruto ended up dying.
Right. Yeah.
And he ended up getting his father's half. So I think he had his father's half.
It could be. The only thing is I don't think that's going to end up being critical. I think that's why people haven't spent a lot of time on it because, Naruto's got a lot of gray areas. So whether it's specifically one half or the other, I don't think it's gonna end. It's gonna make a difference.
I wish he had both halves. I want to see what type of fighting he has.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing that he doesn't have both right now.
I don't know, and it's what's disappointing to me, and I'm not a Sasuke. I'm not an anti-Sasuke, but I'm not a Sasuke fan or whatever. I mean, he's move this way. He's critical because he normally when he shows up, things happen. Right? People start dying or whatever. So I like him in that aspect, but my train of thought just went off the tracks. So let's see. Well, anyway, it'll come back to me. Anyway, so all right. Anything else? I do want to go a little bit. I want to go a little bit longer here on the video.
I noticed back to what you were saying before about Sasuke. He really gets to business. Like when he shows up, like he's all about getting stuff done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When he shows up, people start dying. There's a lot of action and everything. So really good character in that way. I still don't remember what point I was driving to. But also, once we're done talking to Naruto, we can talk, because I kind of want to make the video a little longer. We can actually talk about some alternatives or some other kind of anime, and we can do that. Now, is there anything else Naruto-wise at all you want to talk about before we start talking about like alternative anime or anything like that?
Well, we could discuss who could be the future Hokage, whether or not it would be still Tsunade or Naruto or Sasuke. Who's the other candidates? Kakashi,
Shikamaru.
Shikamaru.
I think that's about it, really. That would
Yeah.
actually be good Hokages.
I don't think Shikamaru wants to be Hokage. I think if Naruto's Hokage, he would be Naruto's advisor.
Oh yeah, without a
Right.
doubt. That'd be the best, because he's the best candidate for that. Also, you know.
All right. I mean,
With
the problem is
analytical skills.
the problem with all this is Tsunade has to die, right, or retire.
She could step down like the fourth Hokage, or like the third Hokage step down, or
Right.
for the fourth. You know, he kind of can't. If you can come back, you know, somebody should be able to step down.
I think it's Kakashi as the sixth Hokage and Naruto's the seventh.
But
Yeah,
I mean, like I say, Tsunade's still got to die. So we're just gonna, we'll just let her stay as Zetsu, and then we'll, figure out who's gonna be Hokage. But how you doing, James?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good. Only 4 more chapters to go. So
It's a bit of a shock now.
that's a big shock to everybody. Yes, it has been.
He's the first person to be shocked.
Well, I am. I mean, yeah, think about it. The Great Ninja War went on for like 3 years.
Well, and as Sean pointed out, how long were previous fights? The Pain fight, everything was real long, and
Yeah, like 20 chapters for Pain.
yep. And we're gonna get here, and Sasuke's gonna get wore out, which is already, you can already see it. He's got Naruto fatigue. He's like, oh my gosh.
I'm
So-
surprised both of them not fatigued because look, they fought in the beginning of the war. Naruto fought the longest. He fought when everybody got resurrected all the way up to now. He was in constant fighting.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing is,
yeah, he got that.
what's been pointed out with Naruto is his sage ability restores him. So,
It does, but I mean, how much can it restore him?
completely. And not only restore him, but charge him. And all he has to do is chill out, and that natural energy comes in.
It looks like
Yeah,
I think in my world, I think Naruto wants to be Sasuke's Hokage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now I think we've squeezed all the toothpaste out of the tube of Naruto for this week. Unless somebody's got something, then we can start talking about alternative anime and some other stuff for a little bit, and we can wrap this one up.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Okay, you're done. Thomas is done. Michael.
Yep, done.
Okay, let's talk about some other. Somebody suggested something to me, and I'll make this quick because I know it sucks to hear somebody talking about something we haven't seen yet. But something that's getting ready to start, and there's already kind of a movie out, is Fate Stay Night. This was suggested to me by Simul Crawl, and watch Fate. It's starting in a few days, I guess the first episode or whatever. But there's a movie on it at Crunchyroll, and it's interesting. It's the fighting's good. The story seems okay-ish. It was I do like the fighting, and the concept's okay. But anyway, the Fate Stay Night. Now, what is anybody? What's the anime replacement that you guys and Hunter x Hunter is not reliable, as we know. What is it that you guys are weekly watching in anime now?
One
If it is-
Piece.
I need one
One-
also.
One Piece? Okay. And Sean, you said One Piece?
No, I said I need another alternative.
Okay, so you need an alternative. Michael Gethman.
Well, I don't really watch anime all that much. I just
Well, watch or
focus
read,
on
manga, whatever.
the
One Piece.
manga. Yeah, I do One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, and Hunter x Hunter. That's what I do.
Okay, so you got one year. One is going well. Bleach is going away. What next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got two of those four are going away. One is unpredictable or intermittent. It's not constant. Oh, I guess One Piece, right? It's going to be there forever, and it's fairly consistent, right?
Right.
So just a lot of filler. That's the only thing I've heard about that. Yeah, go ahead.
My other couple of animes, like Michael said, like Bleach, and then Titan. Attack on Titan is another one I read week or monthly.
Yeah, there's another one I need to start looking. I like the manga. It's where they're fighting the insects, which I read the manga. It was just really dense. I was waiting for the anime to come out.
What was that? Parasite?
Terraformers.
Terraform Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I saw the first anime, and I was really not happy. I read the manga, but it didn't start where the manga is for whatever reason. And so now I guess it is. So I need to go back and look at that. Terraform Mars looks interesting. Fate Stay Night looks interesting. Supposedly, Elijah was saying the new season is coming out, which I'm not even sure exactly when it's coming out of anime. Actually, it's supposed to be pretty good. So that'll be something to look at. And I may do a weekly show, although it's going to be a lot more condensed than what we're doing before. People are not going to. We're going to make sure that people are only coming up with a couple of things and not, a lot. So, just throwing out a lot of different animes, trying to make it more focused.
Oh, did you
Does
know
anybody
that
watch Seven Deadly Sins?
Seven Deadly Sins?
Seven Deadly Sins is a new one. I read up to chapter 56. I think I like. Actually, that's another one. You know what? Let me get my note thing here. Let me get organized and put down some notes here, because that's when I need to go back and look at. Because like I say, that it looks like the humor and stuff would probably work better in anime for Seven Deadly Sins. So we got Seven Deadly Sins, right? And then we got Terraform Mars. And then I like the Fate Stay Night, at least the movie I saw of the series that's getting ready to start. I thought it looked interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got like you know how like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I'm not a fan of.
Right.
I'm just honest. I have to be honest, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
weird.
a fan of it. But I like the stands.
Really?
I like the new
JoJo?
things. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, I don't like it. So we're all different. So it's like Attack on Titan. I don't like it either, but it's very popular. I'm in the minority on that one. So just because I like something doesn't mean it's good. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. Not everybody understands that concept. It's okay. Not
Right.
everyone's grasped that. I understand that fully. So, but anyway, it's got like the stands. But I like the way that they work in here. It's
Right.
an interesting. It's an interesting deal. So, but anyway, yeah. So those are some things that we could go to. Yeah, it's about time to wrap this up. So let's see, James, and you went ahead muted.
Yeah, what's
Okay,
up?
James. Now, what are you watching or reading or whatever?
I'm trying to catch up on One Piece now that Naruto had such a short half-life, and
Yeah. So how far
Okay.
are you into One Piece? How many chapters or episodes or whatever?
I'm on chapter 5 on anime.
Okay, get back to me when you're on episode 44. Oh, actually, it's episode 43 because episode 44 is like the party that they have in that arc, right? It's the something park arc. I can't even remember it now.
The Mulan or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Arlong.
that's him. Arlong
Arlong Park.
Exactly. Yeah. So chapter 44 is the last one, but it's a party, so it's really over in 43. So yeah, so get back with me on when you get there. So
700 chapters.
evidently Anthony's over 100 episodes in, and he says he's liking it a lot more. Last I've heard. So, and everybody said it takes, but it's still, I mean, my gosh, you know.
Yeah, it took me a little while to get into it. I skipped about 100 chapters or so, and just kind of picked it up there. And then then after that, I got really into it. Like Innie's Lobby is when I really started to like it.
Yeah. After putting 44 chapters or episodes, into it, I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. And that's what everybody says. It's great when you put in massive amount of time watching it. But
right.
So I will say one thing. Even early on, even though a lot of it dragged, I liked the way it felt structured.
Yeah.
It's too slow. There's a lot of characters I don't care about. And that's really to be honest, that's really the thing that got me with it. It's just I'm sitting there and I just don't, I'm like, it's not the writing. The writing's great. It's just I don't like characters. And I'm noticing this more and more in the stories. I'm sitting there like, we're talking about 7 Deadly Sins. Now, who here has seen 7 Deadly Sins or read anything here? Anybody? Going once. Okay. So 7 Deadly Sins, it's the basic core story is the same as Ubel Blatt, which I'm sure you probably haven't heard of at all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ubel Blatt with NW Order told me about, which I'm actually reading, and I'm actually enjoying it even more than 7 Deadly Sins. It's interesting because it's the same core story, but it's completely different because the authors are just doing it differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course the abilities and the characters are kind of different, but the core, like the skeleton, is exactly the same. It's just the way they fleshed it out, which is so interesting to watch the two, because it's not a rehash. It's completely different. It's sort of like if all of us started off with the same core story, we would like certain types of characters or personalities or abilities or something, and it would just be something different for all of us, right?
That's definitely an anime that's on my to-do list.
Yeah, 7 Deadly Sins, that would be a big one. I think it's on Crunchyroll. I need to, or maybe it isn't. I don't know. Let me look.
Yeah, I gotta get into that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, let me look at this. I have Fate Stay Night, which I'm going to definitely watch.
At one point,
starts at 12 hours. 12 hours, everybody. Go ahead.
At one point, I was trying to get into that anime Death Note, but it lost me at a certain episode. I just stopped.
In the middle, once you get to, I think there's like 3 or 4 chapters in the middle that you could completely skip. You can just completely skip
that part.
Yeah, and it's just repetitive junk, but it was an amazing. I love Death Note. That was amazing.
Death Note's awesome. There's a part in Death Note where you're like, get back to the story, let's go, and then it finally does, and you're like, awesome.
Yeah.
That's how it was with Hunter x Hunter and One Piece. For the beginning of it, I just kind of had to force myself to just push through and just withstand the nonsense in the beginning.
But the ending, even though we won't say what the ending is, and there's spoilers, but me and Michael Gethman, I loved the ending and you didn't, right? So, but it was still a great ride, right?
It was a great ride, but the ending, I don't know whether I like it or not anymore.
I think once I got used to the cadence of Hunter x Hunter, I actually I've been enjoying it.
Well, once we open up the Hunter x Hunter, I can't get out of this. This is, how many, I'm sitting here, every single person in this hangout got into Hunter x Hunter because, because Anthony got me into it. Well, I don't want to use those words. I'd like, nicer words, pestered maybe, or.
I don't want to say badger. I'm going to say strongly suggested.
strongly suggest. Unfortunately for me, all these words do apply. Now,
Well, I wanted to become part of this conversation, so I started reading it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but fortunately for me and all of us here, it's a damn good. It's an amazing manga, isn't it?
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
I pray every day that Tagashi will just come back with it soon. Because it was like
Me too.
right when it got good, or right when finally got into it and caught up and everything, is when Tagashi decided to take a break.
That's the thing I don't understand. Like, I'm pretty sure every person that writes anime always have a subordinate person.
An editor? An editor?
Yeah, you could say that. Probably like somebody like when he does all these drawings, is always somebody there that actually looks at his drawings or look at whatever.
Well, I don't know. Tagashi's kind of high up there. See, he may not have that person. I think that Tagashi's to the point where he's. I don't know if you've noticed the way that the stuff is from the company here. That he seems to tell them what's going to happen. How many? Have you noticed that Kishimoto doesn't dare take a day off?
Nah.
Have you noticed there's a difference between Tagashi, which can just hiatus whenever he wants? Have you noticed this? Yeah.
It'd be like if I got a job somewhere and just told my manager, "Hey, I'm not gonna come in for the rest of the week. I'm just gonna hang out at the house,"
Yeah, something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure like he could like have somebody that knows the type of work that he does can like continue it on until he gets back.
Well, yeah, and this is a conversation we've had a lot. I've had this with many times. And then we go into somebody else should do the art. He should be, he's going to be like Stephen Hawking talking into a voice thing in his story, a minimum. And he's.
It could be worse.
Could be worse. And then there's been the, fan involvement in kind of a forceful way. Get him to write. We've definitely gone through these scenarios. And, but yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing when he came back because he had been. See, when I got into it, right when I was getting ready, I'd been putting off reading. I'd been watching the anime, and so about the same time that I was going to get into the manga, he comes back.
Nice.
The timing was sweet, right? And then it's beautiful. So, and then of course, but a lot of people were scared of the H word, the hiatus word, and then a lot of people because they'd been waiting 2 years, and finally it started again. And I'm like, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. He can, because I mean, to be honest, the guy could put out 1 or 2 or 1 chapters a month as long as it'd be consistent. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
And his chapters are not a chapter. That's a lot. Some of these are like 3 chapters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of material in there.
A lot of food on the plate.
Yeah, this is kind of got, and this is we talked about before. This is turned into now the Hangout started with Kill la Kill. This started been brought up before. The scene in Kill la Kill where the students no late day. And the students that know that they're not going to make it, because the punishment for no late day, right, and Kill la Kill, is that you get kicked out of school, you lose your home, you basically get kicked out of the town, right? You're destroyed if you're a student and you don't make it to school on that day, right? No late day. And the children that are having the fake classroom because they're in denial. They actually have a student pretend to be the teacher, and they take attendance.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. It's a tiny little scene. It's just devastating. That they want to just live in denial for 1 more day, right? Well, that's kind of what we were jokingly before in the last Hunter x Hunter saying we might have come out weekly with fake bogus chapters just to pretend that
Yeah.
It was really, it was continuing. Yeah, we just, come here and, take attendance, talk about the new chapter, and pretend that it was still going, and everything was good.
That was another thing that got. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said it would be funny because people don't look this make that.
Oh yeah, just a bunch, and then you find out, oh, it's just a bunch of crazed Hunter x Hunter fans.
Wonder how many views we'd get.
And total denial. Oh, I don't know. It would be interesting, but it would be if we did it in a funny enough way. I'm sure people would love it and get it. But
No, we gotta be serious so that people think that there's an actual chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be something else. These guys are crazy.
And then we get a copyright. And then we get a copyright email.
Oh yeah, and knowing me, I'd get a freaking copyright strike. It's like, you guys don't even have this chapter out, and you're giving me a copyright strike.
Well, don't they get you for your thumbnail or something?
No, they don't get you for the thumbnail. They and what and this was what was interesting. Somebody, I can't remember the guy that helped me out. It was somebody suggested. There's a guy on another channel. I can't remember his name now. But he said that it was probably the length of the video, which is why I tried to stay away from. I tried to make mine stay away from 20 or 30 minutes. I try to make my Hangouts go longer.
Right.
So they don't think, they go, oh, that's about the length of, because that we did a short video. This is one that got hit, and it was all about how to get more Hunter x Hunter fans, and it was a Hangout, and it had no copyrighted anything, right? Just nothing. But it was about like 20 minutes long, or 18 minutes long, right? 18, 20 minutes long, which is about, the range of an episode, right? Without the commercials and everything.
Right.
So I think that's what happened. They went and they said, oh, fits within the parameters of, people uploading stuff within that time. So ding, and it wasn't YouTube that got me. It was the company from Tokyo. And then I went and started doing. Yeah, and then I started doing some research, and they started dinging a lot of other people. Evidently, what they did is they because remember, for Neverworld was getting dinged, all the high-level guys were starting to get dinged.
Yeah.
Right. You remember that happened earlier this year, and what I think they did, and they went and hired a company to use software and scour YouTube and the net to try to find people that were uploading stuff, which is understandable. But as I did reading, I was finding out that like 99% of these companies are not really effective. They're like I say, once again, they have these certain parameters because they're not watching the video, right? There's no human being watching these videos and saying, oh, this is this, it is or isn't. So it fits parameters in the way it's titled, the length of the video, all this kind of stuff, and it's highly inaccurate.
Yeah.
And you've seen, I watch Yu Yu Hakusho all the way through, and I'm not going to say where, but a place that we're all familiar with. All the episodes.
Yeah.
And all they had done is changed the video and the audio slightly. And I've even seen songs. So there are ways that people can get around that, which I don't like. And I just want to say, this is another thing that gets me, is I like copyright. let me put it this way. I wish that every single video that I did, that 5% of the revenue for every video I did, which isn't, and trust me, I'm literally making change here. It would go to the company that owns the copyrights to Naruto or Hunter x Hunter, and I think that would stop all this.
Yeah.
I would just say, okay, look here, or even the music or whatever. Here it is, but you know what? If I make anything, here's 5% or 10%. Just here's your cut. Leave me the heck alone. You know what I mean?
So, are you saying that you are actually making money doing this?
Change. Yeah, because they're monetized. You make a tiny amount of money off the commercials. But you have to remember, yeah, but look at how many views I get. So it's literally change.
Yeah.
Right.
It's change.
And another reason I got into Hunter x Hunter 2 was also because I saw y'all started doing Hunter x Hunter hangouts, and I wanted to get more involved in more different hangouts. And I didn't want to just come and sit in and not have anything to discuss with you guys.
We have people that do that. I mean, some people kind of hang out, but that's okay. Like I said, as long as people are honest, just kind of, it's only disruptive people that create problems. As long as people just want to kind of hang out. James, how many Hunter x Hunter, hangouts did you sit through before you got, into the series? James. Okay, moving on. Well, anyway.
I think I did do that for a couple hangouts though. I think I did that for a couple 100x hunters and maybe a kill.
Life in the Boot is the only person that is completely stone cold not gonna watch Hunter x Hunter. You know what I mean? I mean, even James was like stuck at chapter 1 for like months. Right? And then James got into it and loved it, which I'm happy. Like I say, just ecstatic that everybody got into it. But he just flat out, I'm not gonna. It's I almost feel like when talking to him is different. It's almost like somebody knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, I want you to convert to this Hunter x Hunter religion." And he's like, "No, get out of here." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go hop back on my, with my white shirt on and my 10-speed, but I'll be back later." And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna say the same thing. Get out of here." So it's kind of that way. I'm trying to convert him to a cult or something. So. But anyway, this is fun. I want to say before we go ahead and close out, because we definitely got a long time, unless there's something somebody wants to say, because I think I can kind of feel I think we're about at the end here. We've probably been at the end for about 10 minutes, but the Hangouts to me really, I guess I get a lot more out of the Hangouts than I think the average person does. Not just because I'm moderating, but because I would much prefer. I'm not that great at typing, which I think you can also tell. It's not my preferred way of communicating. I'm not Conley Bob Nine, or D.P. Roberts. You know what I mean? His ability to communicate writing is amazing. Amazing. Yeah, good, Thomas.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you got good, be able to talk on the keyboard pretty well. Because I can't do that very well either.
Yeah, it's even more interesting when you communicate when you it's like a different language. So when you try to communicate with somebody that sits there and all of a sudden there's a block of text.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like type. And it's like you know what I'm saying. Like a minute later, here's like 2 sentences, and then here's another wall of text coming at me, and I'm like, oh boy.
That's how I am with text messaging at the moment, because I don't have a smartphone or anything like that. I just have your standard phone. So some people will text me and send me like three text messages in a row, and I haven't even finished the first one yet, and I'm like, oh hold on here.
Well, I like to talk, which I think you can. I also like to listen, which is another thing that makes me a little weird. Usually people that like to talk don't like to listen.
Right.
I like the back and forth. This is why I like to hang out so much, and we can just back and forth. I'm curious about what other people, what their take is and everything on this, which actually makes it good for me to be a moderator. So have you ever noticed? Well, here I am talking about letting other people talk and I'm cutting you off. But but have you ever noticed like really good radio? I don't know if you guys are kind of young, but people that are good at radio, people that are good at doing a TV show or radio where they're just the one person there.
Right.
Are horrible at doing interviews.
Yeah.
Because they're horrible because their entire mentality is being able to spill out especially like with radio or anything, anything like the blogs or anything like. Trying to think of it. Well, podcast, anything like a podcast. Somebody could do a podcast or a hang up by themselves. Anybody can do that. Normally doesn't care what somebody else thinks.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the mentality. But anyway, so sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm with you on that because I like the hangouts. Sometimes just for talking to you guys, and I'm like you in that aspect. I like to hear other people's opinions and their point of views on the chapters or the animes.
Yeah, and then to be able to question them, right? Because I can go, Michael Gethman, why? What do you think of that? And you're like, well, because of this or because of that, And what gets really exciting to me isn't like in a debate, the goal is to defeat the other person. Right? It's a debate. It's like, I'm going to force you to my point of view. But what's great about this kind of open conversation, this kind of collegial equals or whatever, is that we may end up, which often, in my opinion, happens, and even if we have the same opinions, they're not the same because we fleshed them out more. You've told me stuff that I didn't know, right?
Right.
So it's just awesome. And a lot of times you notice during these conversations you can end up everybody ends up in a different place anyhow.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. So, All right. Like I say, I think we're about done. You guys are very patient. You guys have been awesome. And have you noticed every week we get better at doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah. These really, I need to push this again. It's too bad this is going away. But I do want to do podcasts. I want to do stuff. But anyway, I've already mentioned that stuff before. And I am going to end up probably. I keep saying it every week. The last couple of months, I want to do it. I am going to start on my. I am going to start like a sort of a light current news kind of thing, and it'll probably be on Sundays, but maybe be on Saturdays on my news channel. But anyway, I realize most people aren't going to be interested in that. Moving on. Is there anything last thing anybody wants to bring up before we go ahead and close this out? And I just want to say one last thing before that is you guys have been awesome, and you've made this a lot more fun to me. But any last thing you want to bring up?
I'm good.
Okay, that's it. We're done. All right, Naruto, 4 more chapters to go. Oh my gosh. Until next time, take care.